Hello, hello everyone. AmyR here with Prairie Paper and Ink. Welcome back to my face, card making space, live, unscripted, unfiltered, generally absolute crafty chaos. Housekeeping. I literally, I was prepped and then I ran out of time and now I'm like, what am I doing? What am I doing with my hands? I'm using Altenew stuff today. Mitzi from Altenew, hello, is here. So she will answer questions or whatever, all the things in the chat for me, which is super fun. And I have a code to share, which let's hope that I figured this out and I'm doing it properly. It's always hard for me to add these to my thing, but okay. I think everyone can still hear me. I have an exclusive code, and the info is in the description box directly below the video. If you use my link, which is in the description box below, orders over $49 during the next couple days, basically, all the info's below. You can get free US shipping with the code AmyLive3. So, yeah. All that info's below with the code, the link, yada, yada, yada. I do have everything I plan to use today listed and linked below. If I need to, after the live, I will edit and add whatever else, because it is just me doing everything, because that's how it works. I'm a one-woman show. So, hello to everybody tuning in. And yes, this is my third live in 3 days because I'm insane. Just is what it is. Yeah. I went live on Saturday doing some cardstock swatching, which I'm now continuing with that still. And I've been swatching my Altenew cardstocks, because they're just fabulous. So that's going to be a process. I'm not sure how many colors Altenew has in their cardstocks, which are right there. But yeah, I've been die cutting them and labeling them and I'm attempting to get organized. So that's my other little side gig is slowly doing the things. And then, yeah, I was live yesterday, going live today, because it's fun. It's fun. So yeah, now I was like, what am I doing? What am I making? Where are we? Who is this? I don't know. On top of it all, I'm pretty sure my microphone's good enough. It's not picking it up. It is howling wind outside. And I only am just letting y'all know, because if I seem a little extra psychotic, distracted, whatever, it's hard to think straight. And I have to keep checking to make sure I'm not flooding, because it was raining as well. And wind and rain is not a good combo for me. But yeah, the wind is making me twitchy. So, not like I'm crazy enough. So, yeah. Okay. Everything looks good. Let's flip the camera down and figure out what I'm doing with my life, which I'm using my plan. I think this packaging shows better. Okay. I'm going to use the Stencil Art White Cap Peonies set. This isn't new. This came out last year, a year and a half ago. It came out a while ago, and I bought it. Peonies. I've talked about, I love peonies in all forms. I love real peonies. That's one thing I've managed to grow and not kill so far in my little flower garden is peonies. And yeah, there's a stencil set, there's a die set, and this set is huge. I wasn't fully, it's one of those things, and I've talked about this, when you see things online, and I just, in my head, and then when I got it, I was just like, okay. And then I hadn't used it. And then I decided. And then before we went live, I die cut my cardstock. It's enormous. I love it. So I die cut first. You can use the stencil set just on its own. But I like having coordinating dies, you know? So I die cut some cardstock. And yeah, we're just gonna do it. We're just gonna do it. So I'm so loving the stencil set. Oh yeah, they're layering stencil sets. Like I like the ones that coordinate with the different stamp sets, etc. Those are so much fun. Love them. Love them. And I'm slowly starting to get into the ones that are just the stencil art, like the standalone set, so they don't have like a stamp set or anything. You know, the art is the layering stencil. I'm kind of here for it. It's kind of fun. So it is, like I said, it's enormous. It's an enormous set. There are 6 stencils. And like I said, I've never used this. So I'm going to be a little bit nuts and use it for the first time on camera, you know, without testing anything out or figuring anything out. And if I can do it, anyone can. And if it ends up being a hot mess, well, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. It's going to be fine. And at least to save myself the aggravation, because I started overthinking my colors, because I was like, you know, digging through all my Altenew inks, and not only cardstock, Altenew has a just insane amount of inks. I think it's around close to 200 at this point. It's a lot, but I was digging through all my inks because I was like, pink, peonies, you know, all the things. And I started like, I'm going to use the colors they suggested, because I never in a million years would reach for these colors for something like peonies. I would never think of it. And I like these colors. And I was like the fall sort of shades. So inside the packaging for the stencils, it has the layering guide, which applies to all of Altenew's. Like they do it with their stamp sets, the layering stencils, all things. And then with almost everything, they usually will have like color guides as well. And yeah, so I went through all of, because I went and pulled out all the colors they suggested. And yeah, I would never think of these colors. And I was like, let's just do it. Because then once I get, you know, into my groove, the next time I pull this out, I'm going to use like pinks, reds, deep burgundies, you know, like you could do any color, any color. I love them. I love them. Just got the pansy set. Oh yeah. And peonies are just, there is the billowing peonies stamp set. Oh, I'm pretty sure I own that one as well. I don't know if I've done a video on that one yet though. I'm positive I have it. I'll have to dig it out after today. And press plate, we'll get to that. We'll get to that because of course I pulled out my press plate, but we're going to do the peonies first because that's what I need to do. So I got my inks. I have my stencils. Maybe not put stencils underneath all my ink pads, you know. And then die cuts. And I did die cut everything twice. I'm just gonna use a second mat. I could use my bigger mat, but I have like too many things piled up. Too much of a mess going on. Again, what else is new? What else is new? So I'll just like go back to back with my little grippy mat. Because my plan, here is, oh crap. Okay, give me half a second, you guys. Okay, she did ring the doorbell. Okay, because I knew they were going to show up as soon as I went live. Okay, Chris is running. I told him to keep an eye out. I'm getting a delivery. Okay, apologies. Back to what I was saying. Here's an A2 card front. So 4 1/4, 5 1/2 inches. So this will help give you an idea. Here's what the finished size of this, you know, peonies will look. just to give you that idea. So we could also do like horizontal, but I think my plan is to do a vertical card because that's what I like. But if you like doing like 5x7, etc., like larger, this will be beautiful, you know. But yeah, yeah. So I got that, and then my ink. I have shown this. I've shown this before. This is the I always forget the actual. There's like an official name for it, right? Crafter's Showcase mini blending brush holder. It's like, oh, you know, the angels are singing. I keep all mine brush side up. Like you can store them this way, but I just keep them all brush side up because I think that's easier for me. And then I have them in rainbow order and then 4 per each. So I've got red, orange, yellow, green, turquoise, teal, blue, purple, pink, brown, grays, black. And then 4 because all of Altenew's inks are in sets of 4, light, medium, medium, dark, dark. So then I've got light, medium, medium, dark, dark. And then, and it just, one, beautiful, but also, and this is really dumb, but Laura Basson did a little like reel using this. And then she put it like vertically. And I was like, that's perfect. It's perfect. I love it. Who are they from? We'll bring them here because that's who I'm live with. That's hilarious. That's hilarious. Okay. The delivery was from Altenew. You guys are too sweet. Okay. He's going to bring them because I got a phone call randomly this morning and they're like, will you be home? Da, da, da. And I was like, yeah, yeah. And it was like for flowers. And I was just like, okay. And then I couldn't figure out because, Crest already had flowers delivered to me because my birthday was yesterday. And then this is from Altenew. Well, that's perfect. Thank you, Altenew. Okay, they're beautiful. Oh my goodness. How am I gonna show this? Okay, let me switch back. Thank you, Altenew. Oh, that just made my day even more. I have a garden going on. Where am I gonna?
You want me to put it on the...
Put these on the island for now.
Yeah.
I will literally move stuff around so I can put them, but I don't want to knock that over, and I'm frazzled with the wind. Thank you. Thank you, Altenew. That totally made my day. So, yeah. I love it. I love it so much. So, yeah. Isn't that nice of them? Thank you, Altenew. In fact, did it? I think it just says from like... Oh, Tesneem. Yeah. And the Altenew team. So, thank you so much. That totally made my day. I love it. I love flowers. I love flowers. I love flower stamps and stencils and wafer dies and all the things. All the things. So the timing of that couldn't have been more perfect either. Oh my goodness. Okay. So show my brushes. We talked about the stencils. Let's actually start doing some stenciling with very unconventional to me colors. And that's always the thing too, that like guides like this, it's just an idea, a starting point. And so often, especially with Altenew's like layering guides and stuff, yeah, like colors I wouldn't think of. Colors I wouldn't like, my knee jerk is always like bright colors, bright pinks, bright purples, bright, greens, etc., etc. And don't overestimate the power of like neutrals or muted colors. Like this is the Nature's Wonder quad. Normally, I would like looking at them online or just in theory, I remember when they first released this quad and I was a little like, okay, like these are odd colors, they're very different. They're kind of muddy. I don't even know what category to describe them in. I reach for these so often. I really like them. I really like these colors. Like I've used them a lot, but I would never have thought to use them with florals like this. So I was like, let's do it. Let's do it. So, and then the sky's the limit, you know? So everything. Oh, I've got all of these upside down. Pro tip. Flip your stencils, right side up. You can tell when they're right side up. There we go. It'll have etching detail. And then, things like numbers like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, etc. And then there'll also sometimes be little guides of things like A1, C1, and that can apply to like the layering guide. So it's like A1, C1, so that kind of what you're doing. So the guides always help. And yeah. And then with some of them, but we'll get to that, there's usually like a line separating. It's like this part's for this part. We'll get to it. So I die cut everything first to make it easier to line up, to figure out where everything goes. And then with these, there's going to be the littlest bit of a border. There we go. So I've got it lined up and we're good to go. So the first color is going to be butternut. Love it. Love it. So that'll be a light yellow. Actually, I'll use my brown brushes for this one. And then with my brushes, because I don't have a brush for every single ink color, a part of me kind of wants to. Like, I'm sure come back in a few years. I wouldn't be surprised if I eventually have a brush for every single color because I am that psychotic. But I just use a microfiber cloth. And then whatever light shade that kind of goes with the brush, that's what I use. And it's been fine. So that's what we're going to do. And we'll just pick a spot and we're just going to start blending. So here, there we go. There we go. Hello to everyone tuning in. I want to make sure. That's why I love Altenew inks, because they have different colors. Yeah, like they have colors that I've never seen in crafting. Like some of the more unique shades like these, like Nature's Wonders, and there's just other random colors that it's like I would never have thought. But then it's funny how some of them end up being my most used, especially things like neutrals, the grays, the muddier colors, that sort of a thing. Because those ones to me, those are what I call like my basics. Like I used to always think that was so weird with like alcohol markers, etc., and the amounts of and the types of grays that were available in the beginning when I first started getting into them. And I was like, what am I going to do with, like, do you really need 27 shades of these grays? And some of my most used because they work with everything: shading, depth, neutral backgrounds, etc., etc., etc. So yeah, don't underestimate the neutrals. And then just all the funky colors like the Misty Moors and the Marshlands and stuff. They're also really fun neutrals that are unexpected. So when I'm not in the mood for gray and I don't want brown, I go for like these sorts of colors. So card. Deborah, I did a video with that maple tree. You just got to scroll back. That was in the maple tree was the September release, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. Mitzi, you can. That maple tree wafer die, I did a video. I did 3 cards using that with night times. Oh, it was so fun. It was so fun. Yeah, I was in a video hop for that. So it's on my channel. And trust me, I'll be using that one again. I think it's like it's been sold out for a while. They'll restock it. It takes a while. Yeah, so already ahead of you on that one. I loved it. I loved creating with that one, and I did it with fall colors. But I want to do that one in like summer colors. Oh, pinks. So good. So good. Like, yeah. Again, a person doesn't necessarily need to have all the things, but it's like using what you've got, like a set like this, and just all the different looks you can get by just changing the colors. So like we're going more fall colors with the suggested here, but could use reds, pinks, purples, oranges. Like you can do whatever you want. Go crazy. Do them all in green. Like do something completely. Do it all in grays. Ooh, the whole thing in grayscale. That would look gorgeous too. You know, I love it. I love it. I already love it. Oh, hello to Sweden. Okay, so we're just gonna repeat on the second piece so that I have both of these because, like I said, one of them I think I'm gonna use part of on the inside of my card, and then because that'll just be simpler than me stenciling on the inside of the card. Well, yeah, it's already die cut. That's what we're doing. I've already committed. We're doing it. So we're going to keep it simple so that I'm not overthinking everything because that's what I do. Not seen this before. That cozy sweater. Yeah, like I'm not Mitzi. She will answer it, but that cozy sweater embossing folder. I don't think Altenew is able to keep up right now. I think they need to double their restock of it. Yeah, it's been sold out because it is beautiful. I'm not gonna show it in videos until they're able to like get it back in stock because it is gorgeous. And yeah, the demand is very high for that embossing folder, I think. So, and embossing folders sometimes take a really long time to restock because it's a totally different manufacturing process and all the things. And some embossing folders, it can take a really long time, which is the joys, the joys. Okay, so we did that one. I'm going to do the whole thing, even though I most likely, with the second piece, I'm only going to really need a small part of it because I just want some of the design on the inside of the card, but not the whole thing, obviously. But that's okay. That's okay. There we go. Triple the restock. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, with that cozy sweater embossed foil. Yeah, maybe triple. Altenew triple the restock for it. I'm so glad I don't like. This is why I do what I do. This is why I make and I share. Dealing with the business end of it all, I wouldn't be good at it. Trust me, I would fail miserably at that. Okay, now we've got the second layer, and this one is going to. Oh, this lines up super easily. This actually ends up covering up a lot. Okay, and then we're going in with one of my favorites, pumpkin pie. Not pumpkin pie in real life, but also in colors. I love this. Is like the perfect fall color. It really is. Like this quad. This is the fall harvest quad. Love it. Love it. You just can't go wrong with these colors. They make me happy. Like, and again, I never in a million years would think to use this quad with peony images. Like it just, my brain does not go there. Like my brain goes to pink and red, peachy coral colors. White cap peonies like this, I would go more like brighter yellows because I actually have a white cap peony in my backyard that I started growing last year. I got it from Costco and it bloomed this year again. But it's like just in its beginning years because that is one thing I'm learning with peonies is when you plant them, they need to sit and grow for multiple years, you know, to establish themselves and for their tubers to spread and expand. And yeah, so my little white cap peony in the back he's still a baby. So I got like 3 little blooms this year on him, and I was content with that. But yeah, so I've got the white cap in the back. I have a coral colored one, and I think it's got a funny name like scrumdiddlyumptious or something like that. Um, and that one is, yeah, like a coral color. It's beautiful. And I got like 1, maybe 2 blooms on it this year because that one's also new. And then my ones out front that have now been established for several years, they're like I've shown the blooms in live streams when it's time. Some of them are the size of dinner plates, and I just, I love it. I love it. I love it so much. Look at that. Um, um, I've used so many cards. I think. Can you, Jill? I'm not sure what you're asking. Can you find sandpaper on your cutting plates? I'm not sure what you're asking. If you mean like, can you use sandpaper on your cutting plates? Like, I wouldn't at all, ever. Correct me if I'm wrong. I assume you're referring to like when your cutting plates are getting like really, really like all the grooves and the cuts in them from all the die cutting. Um, Honestly, that's just the nature of die cutting. The plates are going to get cut into, they're going to get worn out, and they just need to be like I rotate my cutting plates. Like one, I use a Anna Griffin Empress to do the majority of my die cutting. So with that one, I cut into the magnet plate. But with my other machines, when I'm cutting into the designated cutting plate, that plate is designated for cutting, and I rotate it. Like I rotate the plate, I flip it, and I use it up until it is like cloudy. You can't see through it anymore, and it is like there's nothing left of it. And then I switch to a new plate. Um, so yeah, I wouldn't use like sandpaper on it. Like yeah, because especially like clear cutting plates, most of them are pretty affordable to replace. Like just those clear plates, you know, because depending on the machine, there's all the different, you know, there's base plates and this and that and the other thing, and like some of those can get up there, you know, in price. But just the clear cutting plates, I think are pretty affordable and easy to replace. And yeah, I always keep one, depending on the machine and the sandwich. I always have one clear plate is usually on the bottom, and one is your cutting plate. And I use that cutting plate 5 million times, so there's nothing left. And then I will pull out a new plate when it's time. That goes on the bottom, and the bottom plate, because still be a little bit marked up, will become my new cutting plate, if that makes sense. So I always am keeping like one plate clear. And yeah. Oh, I love this. I love this. I love these colors. Um, um, yep, same thing, Sheila. Um, Love Altenew's layering stencils. It took me several months. And the Ditzy Flowers wallpaper. That's another one. Same thing. I have that. Yeah, I have several of the Altenew layering stencils, and I was going to use a different one today, and then it sold out. So I was like, pause. Let's use this one because I hadn't used this one either. Okay, now this guy, he's going to be pretty easy to line up. Yeah, because once you get to like this third stencil, you're kind of lining up along what you've already done. And then you can't really see it. There we go. There's a line right here that's like etched into it because that's separate. Like this little portion is for the the detail. So it's like, this is like step 1, this is step 2, you know? So we did that one. And then we need yellow ochre. So then we go a shade darker. And let me, that cleared up then, thank you. Yeah, like, here's what I'll say. Because when I say things, like when it comes to like what I recommend, especially when it comes to like machines and those sorts of things, I always err on the side of caution. You know what the manufacturer recommends, etc. Because I never want to give someone advice and be like, oh, sure, use sandpaper or do this or blah, blah. You know, even if it's something I've done myself, it's like, I'm not going to recommend this thing. I wouldn't want anyone like wrecking their tools or their supplies, you know. Now, when it's something that's in theory like worn out, like a die cutting plate, you've worn it out, it's done for. You know, you're replacing it. So technically, that die cutting plate is gonna, you know, head to the trash. It couldn't hurt to try sanding it down a little bit with a really fine grit sanding paper. You know, it couldn't hurt, because what do you have to lose other than the bit of time you use doing it? Because yeah, if you're going into it thinking like, well, I'm throwing it out anyway, you know, because I've done that with other things. It's just like, well, it's going in the trash anyway or in the recycling bin. Like, I'm not, whatever the item is. And I was like, and then I get curious and I start mucking around with something. I haven't yet discovered anything crazy, you know, but yeah. So it couldn't hurt. I recommend, and the manufacturer would recommend, just replacing it. You know, use a new one, but it couldn't hurt. You know. Okay, and then not only like picking up info and tips from, you know, Laura Basson, and just as silly as it sounds, but like, wow, putting the brush organizer like vertically. Um, it never occurred to me, and this is one I picked up from Kathy Zielski, is using like my pokey tool when there are parts of stencils that are not connected, like they're little delicate doublies, you know? Using like a pokey tool to hold it down so that things aren't shifting. And I was just like, of course, Kathy Zielski's a genius. I was always using my finger. And then I was getting ink all over me and smearing it. I'm a professional, okay? I totally know what I'm doing. Y'all, I need therapy. So, yeah, you learn something new. Okay. So then we go in with these little bits. I assume. I wonder if those bits are supposed to be a different color. Oh, I need to pay attention to what I'm doing here. Those are probably supposed to be grays, aren't they? I'm looking at the... Where's... It would help if I actually looked at the finished image. There we go. No, you can just do it the same. It just is, it creates a little bit of shading. So, they're brilliant. I'm not. I didn't design this stencil set. Again, that's not how my brain works. I couldn't come up with this kind of stuff. I could do the outline, but I couldn't figure out like layer. All right, look at that. I couldn't figure out layers like this to save my life. And that's why I don't design product. I just use it, you know? Okay. And then we just gotta line up that dude just like so. And then slap on that ink. Hello to everyone. Do. Just like that. Oh, get my pokey tool to hold down the little spots here. Like that. Like that. Boop. Boop. And yeah, I'm just a little bit gobsmacked at these colors because they're really pretty and very fall, you know? Like if I ever came across actual peonies that came in these sort of like toasty colors, I would totally grow them. Like, I love it. I love it. Yeah. Okay. So then this one, we now shift him upwards. So let me get that guy out of the way. So we've got, oh, I'm losing all my stuff. What am I doing here? Okay. So this does the detail. Oh yeah, this does the detail on this guy. Just like that. And that's where we get into, this will be yellow ochre, pumpkin pie, that, red jasper. Oh, another like gorgeous color. This one's from the Tropical Tango quad. This color is gorgeous. So this I'll use a red brush for him because this one is utterly fantastic. So we go in and do that guy. 1, 2, 3. I'm just making sure I'm actually doing things the way I'm supposed to. Maybe I was supposed to use the... Oh, I was probably supposed to use the Celine Amber right there. It's fine. That's probably what it was meant for, but I don't... Again, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Yeah, butterscotch. They're kind of like toasty, butterscotchy. I'm here for it. I'm liking this. I'm liking these colors a lot. So we just gotta line them up again. Just like that. And then slap that ink on. Just like so. Love it. Love it. Okay. So got that. And then put lid back on ink. Remove stencil. Fabulousness. Fabulousness. Okay. And then we're doing... Okay. Stencil 4. It's got B1, B2, E1, D1. Okay. So B1 is going to be like starting to build that center of the flower. So he's going to fit right in like that. Fabulous. And this is where we're getting into the Misty Moore colors. Lerv. And so for that, I'm going to use... Honestly, I have extra blending brushes. I'm going to have a dedicated set for these colors because they're unique. They're unique. I'm slowly, like I said, I'm eventually might have end up with brushes, you know, for every single color. Because you get a brush with the Crafted Garden. My brain is like just all of a sudden stopped. But you know, that kit, that monthly kit, and you get a blending brush with it. Love it. Love it so much. So yeah, we'll go in with Misty Moore to do that color. Perfection. Oh, it's so fun. I love when you step out of the box and do non-traditional. I know, right? And yet the funny thing is like I'm not inventing anything. Every once in a while, I choose myself. You know, I myself will choose to go completely non-traditional colors. You know, and I'll even surprise myself. But yeah, this is not me. This is all Altenew with this one because I had to at least try it with these colors, and then next time I use this set, I'm gonna go completely different with the colors. Like, yeah, most likely next time I use it, it'll be like pinks because this would look so pale pinks, and then really light yellows for the sun. Oh, love it, love it. Okay. I have 2 black thumbs and 8 black fingers. That's kind of where I'm at. But peonies, I've managed so far. Okay. Oh, and these line up. This makes okay. These oh, it all lines up. Well, this is gonna make my life easier. It's just 3 different colors for each section. So let me make sure I got this all where he needs to go because this is the whole thing. So we gotta have clearance. Clearance. Did it. Awesome. Okay. Yes. Okay. So this is one color. This is gonna be Herbie Chirpies. This'll be the Morning Frost. Oh, yes. Yeah. Okay. Now I know what I'm doing. Within reason. Within reason. Okay. So then we're using Marshland, which is darker for this. So we go in. And because of course these are brand new brushes, they're not like primed with ink yet. So I gotta get these going. I also am gonna need to re-ink these in the near-ish future because like I said, I've been using this quad quite a bit, more than I ever thought. And yeah, this Marshland I've used a lot. So I'm gonna have to re-ink him. There we go. So that one's Marshland. The stems are going to start with Minty Mint. And that too, I would never in a million years think of like a pale green like this with these sorts of colors. This would not have occurred to me. I would have gone like much deeper, muddier greens, the moss greens, olive, etc. And yet it works. So I love it. I love it. And yes, thank you everyone for the birthday wishes yesterday and the belated birthday wishes today. I appreciate it. It has been a good few days. And yeah, celebrations are obviously not ending, and I'm okay with that, So we'll get that on there. Maybe hold down with our pokey tool right there. Love it. Love it. There we go. Make sure I'm still on camera, Kind of talked about that. I have a tendency to keep pulling stuff closer and closer to me as I'm working. And then because I always forget, it's like the camera can't move with me, And I'm also not worried too much about like getting a perfect blend. In fact, I'm not worried about it at all because these inks do smooth out as they dry, and also there'll be like all the other layers. So I don't worry about like don't overthink it. Just slap the ink on, and go on about your day. You'll be fine. It'll be fine. Everything will be fine. I do love pink and purple too, and yes, like to do these in like purples. Beautiful, beautiful. Couldn't go wrong. And yeah, add some sparkle. I haven't done that yet with any of the layering stencils, but man, you could do like the final detail layers with like the paste. I'm not gonna do it because not in a live. Um, oh, Altenew shimmer relief paste, like to do like the final detail layers on any of the stencil sets with like, obviously not gonna, again, not doing it today. These colors don't work, but this one is amethyst. And then this, oh, this one is just disgustingly gorgeous. This is Galactic Skies. Like, chef's kiss. These shimmer relief pastes are ridiculously gorgeous. I have several other colors. I had bought these ones and then I haven't even used them. I'll get to it. I'll get to it. But yeah, they're beautiful. And you can rub them on cards. There's a million things you can do with them. They are gorgeous. So that is an option too. Is do the detail. Get off of there. I got a fuzzy. Do the detail layers with like a sparkle paste or the shimmer relief paste. So good. I've splattered with those too. Yeah, I did it when they first were released. I've got like the original colors, and I put some on a palette and added a little bit of water to thin it out and like full on splattered with them. That is an option too. So the one thing keep in mind specifically with one like this, if you're using larger brushes, I would put like a little bit of masking paper, or Post-it notes or something, just so you don't, carry color over. But these are small enough, and I'm thankfully sort of paying enough attention to not, or at least I'm trying to pay enough attention. It's kind of hard sometimes to talk and stay on camera, and and then I get distracted and I'm like, ooh, sparkles. Is that as teal as it looks? Oh yeah. Like, there you go. My face camera, that's pretty accurate. This one makes it look a little darker. Yeah, it looks a little darker, a smidge. My face camera is a little more accurate with the lighting. And yeah, it's so Galactic Skies shimmer relief paste. It's gross. It's so beautiful. I love it. When I got my order, I was just like, shiny, pretty shiny things. And use your paste, folks. Use your paste. I cannot say that enough. Pastes are something that, I don't recommend like hoarding them, collecting them. Use them, and you can, once you open them, use press and seal to seal the jars and all that. That will extend the life, especially if you press out the air, because air, so even just using them, every time you take that lid off, air gets in your paste, and over time they're going to dry out. But use them, have fun with them, and there's like a million ways that you can use different pastes, and especially the shimmer relief paste. Like Altenew's got a bunch of videos. A lot of makers have done all kinds of things. Like there's Nikki Baxley is one who's done some videos. She's taken the paste and like applied them to embossing folders, like without paper, like just the paste. She's got videos on it, and I think there might be some even on the Altenew channel. And like applying the paste onto the folder, letting it dry, and then you peel it up, and you've got all of that, whatever the pattern is on the folder. It's neat. It's really neat. And again, something I never would have thought of. Like that's not where my brain ever goes. And then yeah, I've splattered with them. I've used them over stencils. I really like just like rubbing them onto like patterns, like run cardstock through with an embossing folder, and then rubbing the paste on the raised areas, etc., to give it the shine and shimmer. And yeah, they're beautiful. Okay, that is good. I'm happy with that. So there we go. Yeah, you guys, if you want to distract me, just like I was saying yesterday during yesterday's live, show me something or talk to me about something sparkly, and I'm like the dog from Up. I'm like, sparkles, glitter, what? I can't help it. I like the shiny sparklies. Okay, we just gotta line this guy up. There we go. It gets you, the more you do it with any of them, I can't stress that enough to people. Okay, marshland. That's for, I can't stress that enough. Even whether it's like a layering stencil set or the layering die sets, layering stamp sets, etc., etc. So often they can look very intimidating, you know, when you're seeing all of these, you know, random pieces, random bits of a stencil, random bits of a stamp or die set. And trust me, because like the amount of times it's like I have a product and I open it up and I'm like, what in the fresh hell am I going to do? Because, you know, there's so much and it's like my brain is not understanding. And I was like, what is this? What is this? What is this? You know, try it the first time, you know, die cut the things, layer up the stencil, stamps, and just consider your first time as like a practice run, you know, which, and I know, as always, do as I say, not as I do. Look at my, I'm filming my practice run live because I'm an idiot. But, you know, consider the first time your practice run. And once you see it all come together, it's like, oh, I get it now, you know? Follow the directions, follow the instructions, use the colors that they tell you to use, sort of a thing. Get it in your brain, and then you're good to go. You know, the next time you use it, it's like, oh yeah, I know this is for this. I'm gonna do this then, and do whatever you want. Because, you know, once it's in your hands, it's yours. You can choose to layer it however you want and use whatever colors you want and whatever products you want because it's yours. And yeah, once you've figured out the basic of it, the sky's the limit. And that's where you can really have a lot of fun and start like, oh, well, what if I did this color? Or what if I used this product? What if I added some glimmery paste to it or whatever, you know? Because yeah, I I am the queen of the overthinkers club while simultaneously telling everyone, don't overthink it. Again, do as I say, not as I do. Okay, so that was the mint. Let's get that out of the way so I don't, well, I'm already distracted. Who's kidding who here? Okay, and that one I'm done with. Some of my practice runs have turned out favorite too. Exactly. Like, you know, as long as you're going into it and just like, I'm just going to have fun with this and I'm just going to do how it's shown, or, you know, you're just figuring it out and it's just for funsies, more often than not, you know, it'll either turn out fabulous and you'll be like, awesome, I've got a finished project, or it's just a good learning experience. And it's like, okay, next time, this is what I'm going to do differently, or I really didn't care for this color combo, or, you know, whatever it is. Yeah. I think too often people just need to like mentally give themselves that permission to just play, which easy for me to say, but doing this as a job, it's a little bit harder. But I have found, even for myself, you know, when I tell myself, you know, stop overthinking it. Just die cut, just stamp, just blend, you know. And that's what I was, how I was saying in the beginning, how I was really starting to overthink the colors. And then I was also, because as a content creator, I was starting to overthink, like, you know, I need to blow everyone's minds. I need to come up with something unique and like some crazy technique or whatever, you know. And I was like, dude, chill. You know, these colors are kind of cool. How about we go with that? And then down the road, maybe I'll pull this set out again. I'll do a different video and I'll do crazy fun colors or, you know, whatever. Who knows? But just try not to overthink it. Let's just have fun. Let's just have fun and do completely, for me especially, non-traditional colors. Because, yeah, anyone tuning in will be like, what on earth is wrong with her? This is not what she would normally do. And it's true, but I'm liking it. Like, a lot. Like, who'd have thunk I'd be using little warm grays on this little white bloom? Not me. but I do love it. Get off of there. Okay. And I got a schmutz. I got a blending. I'm making a mess. I'm making a mess. I'm very much a professional, thank you. I am professional. Like when I say I'm professional, that's how I say it. You know, don't take yourselves too seriously. I don't take myself seriously at all. You know, and sometimes people like to like, oh, don't be so hard on yourself. I was like, no, we're just having fun. You know. Okay. Yep. This guy's gonna line up. Same thing. Just the whole thing is gonna line up like so. So you just kind of pay attention to some of the different little spots. And again, it at first it looks so difficult, and then it's like, no, you just kind of like it just works. It just works. I love it. I love it. Okay. So then for this, it'll be that color, and then that color, and then this is going to be Sweet Leaf. I love Sweet Leaf. Okay. This is all going to make sense in its own bizarre way. Okay, so if we got Sea Forest, let's maybe make enough space to actually, like, you know, don't put your ink pads on top of your, yeah, I'm very professional, everyone. And yes, it is just paper. Gotta remind, you know, it's just paper. We're not being, no one's being graded on any of it. It's not gonna get hung in the Louvre, you know, anything like that. It's like, it's just paper. It's just card making. And the whole point of it is to enjoy it. You know, enjoy the process, and yeah. Yeah, we're not reinventing the wheel here. Okay, so that was Sea Forest, and then we have Sweet Leaf for the next shade of green. Rub my brush off, and then we go in there with that. And again, maybe not, oh, well, it doesn't really matter if you use your fingers or not, but okay. This spot right there, that's where I'll use a little piece of, where's my Post-it tape? There it is. Because me and my clumsy self, guaranteed, I will make a mess. So just right there, just to keep me from making a huge mess. And then we're good. Yep. And then pokey tool to hold down the delicate little bit there. And then we can go in and add the detail bits. Love it. Love it so much. So good. Hold down the detail bit. Yep. And then Evening Gray. I love these warm grays for this layer. So again, we're going to take the little, I don't mind getting ink on my fingers as long as I'm paying attention. And mask that little tiny spot. And we're good. Okay, so then I need a gray brush. Speaking of that, did you see they got, oh yeah, I was telling Chris about that. I was like, did you see? I was like a movie. Completely insane. Yeah, no, trust me, I was all over that. The whole Louvre robbery, insane. It's insane. I'm a little bit gobsmacked over that. And my thing too, because Chris, like, he was half falling asleep, and I'm like just nattering away, and I was like, look what they said they took, and I was like, what do you think they're gonna do with this stuff? I was like, it's all gonna be insanely documented, you know, like, I But of course, like, here I am, like, trying to get in the inside of the heads of people who try to rob the Louvre, and I'm like, "Why would you do this?" Like, what was your thought process? Uh, yep, yep, crazy. I was like, "Man, I would just like to go, like, the Louvre's on my bucket list. I someday, I wanna go to Paris. I wanna go to the Louvre." Could not imagine. Okay, so we add these layers in and say that little detail bit, hold him down, boop, like so. Um, Amy should do a destination card class. We all go to Mexico and pet whales and make cards. I wish. Wouldn't that be fun? Y'all. But honestly, if I'm being brutally honest, like where my mind space and headspace is like right this moment, one, I haven't had a vacation in years, years and years and years. It's been years. So the thought right now, it's like, yeah, the thought of doing a, me teaching a destination card class is great. Y'all, I would be like just starfished on the beach, you know, just passed right out. That's it. That would be me. That's all I'd be doing. Just like conked right out. Not even enjoying anything. Just passed out. That would mhm. And then I would feel really bad. Like people came for like an actual class and it's like, yeah. Yeah. The robbers will break it up and sell off the stones individually. Oh yeah. Like I'm assuming they're gonna do that, but even then, like those stones as well are insanely daunting. Because I was looking at a lot of the, stuff that they said they stole, and I was like, they're all very distinct. And I spoke again, like maybe someone will cut them down. Oh, that's sad. Because I was like, when you're getting into like historic pieces, good lord. Like I'm not a big, fancy jewelry person at all. Um, I find so much of it to be utterly ridiculous and overpriced in so many instances. Um, but historical pieces and that kind of stuff that is actually in museums for the public to enjoy because that's where they should be. Um, yeah, that breaks my heart a little. The thought that like, yeah, one, they were stolen, and two, someone's gonna like chop them up. I'm like, oh, that's that in itself is a crime, Crazy. Okay, let's make sure I'm doing this right. C4, yes. Doing the right thing. Making sure we get everything done properly. Um, they dropped a crown on the way out. If if I was there, 100%, I would 100% pick that thing up, try it on, snap a selfie, and give it back, like where it belongs. 100%. Like, but there's no way I wouldn't be like, like it's the one time in my life, man. You know, that would only make the experience better. Not that, not like the robbery or anything, but like to be able to see those kinds of things. That's the only thing that makes me sad. But I understand it all. But like being a museum is not being able to touch anything, and obviously because things can get ruined, etc. But it's like, man, for me, that would be the perfect experience is being able to like touch and like especially things like that, like crowns and stuff. I would like to feel the weight and to actually like. I would like to do that. Okay, but I'm not important enough or famous enough or whatever for places to to let me. I'm just a poor nobody. So yeah, they'd be like, watch that one. She's probably gonna rob us. Anyway. The only time I'd ever wear a crown. Exactly. It would be the only time. If I would have to just be in the right place at the right time and they would accidentally drop it and I could pick it up and then like return it because never. But yeah, that's my thought process. It's just nuts. It's a crazy story. It's going to be very interesting. I assume they're most likely going to get caught because that's usually what ends up happening. I don't know, man. I think too much about the consequences. Don't do crime. Just don't do crime. It's not good. Stick that down. There we go. There we go. There we go. Okay. Many people give out rewards for found items. Truth, like, depending on what they are and all the things, but yeah, it's. And I know that's happened in the past too, where people have stolen something they shouldn't have, and then a reward gets offered, and then the perpetrators like try to capitalize on the reward. It again, I'm just like, y'all, have you ever tried like a normal job? Yeah, yeah. It's just, it's all crazy. It's all completely crazy to me. Okay, so then, and not being able to get up close. That too. That too. I like. We've talked about this in some of my lives. Like the Louvre is one of my bucket list places that I want to go to. Along there's so many, but specifically something like the Mona Lisa. Would I like to see it? Yes, but it's of all the things to see there, that is way low down on my list because like unless you just have dumb luck, you're so far away. Like the crowds are so insane, and you're so far, and it's not that big. Like it's actually quite small of a painting, and I'm just like I would like to get like right up close, you know. Which obviously with that ain't ever happening because again, I'm not super famous or a celebrity where they could like shut down the Louvre and give me a private tour. Ugh, would love it. I'm not friends with the right people, you know. Like I wish, but there are plenty of other places though that are not as well known, museums and things like that have like beautiful works of art and jewelry and different things where you can actually get a little more closer to them. And yeah, like I said, I haven't gone on a vacation in many years, and I got like the entire planet on my bucket list. And someday, um, it's the thrill of completing it. Yeah, for some people it is. It definitely is. Like it's there's always going to be weird things and not good things and yeah, heists and all of it. This one was just a little bit bizarre to me. Okay, we're at that final layer. And same thing. This one just the whole thing just lines up. So I gotta just shift a little bit here and there and kind of look at some of the different anchor points. And there are a few little sketch lines too. I always forget to mention that sometimes that there is etch lines to help it line up. And those especially come in handy if you don't have the coordinating die set. Then you would rely more on those etch lines to make sure, you know. But again, um, museum thing. Doodly doo. Museum thing is why I'd be very much in favor of having copies available for people to inspect better. The ones making the copies get to study how they're made. Perhaps originals and stolen pieces can be returned to their owners. With certain things, I do believe that my personal philosophy when it comes to like the Da Vinci's and like historical works up until a certain point, and I don't know when that cutoff should be, but up until a certain point, I think all of that work, all of the art, and all those things up to a certain point should be available to the public. Full stop. They should not be in private collections, you know? They should be available for the public in museums and galleries for the public. That's just my, you know. And then with some things, yes, I can concede that more recent works should belong to families of the artist, etc. But like things like the Mona Lisa, etc., that belongs to the people. And then we should all be able to see it. But I also understand the um the need to protect it, because again, humans suck, you know. Like if everyone could be respectful, you know, like be respectful sounds mangrove root for this, but people aren't, you know. And I joke about how I like to like touch everything, but I would never something like, you know, historical works of art or anything. I wouldn't be like licking the artwork, you know, or rubbing my oily hands. But people do that. People are ridiculous. People are ridiculous and shouldn't be allowed in public. You know, even when they have rules like don't touch, you know, and there's always someone that's like smacking their hands against stuff and just ruining it for everyone else. So, and that's why the Mona Lisa is behind, you know, bulletproof glass with guards and, you know, so that's, yeah, yeah. They ruin it. They ruin it for everybody. Need that? Okay. I'm just like, I'm getting like caught up and getting fired up about the rights of the people in artwork. Y'all, I really do need a vacation. Tim taught us better. It's true. Like I tell that to people all the time, even with our little cards, don't lick it, you know? Like don't lick the artwork, folks. It's, you know, people, sometimes we just need that laugh, but also sometimes we all need just that little bit of a reality check. Like literally, like don't overthink it. You know, don't pressure yourself so much. Don't um I should have used I'm gonna be really careful. Do. That's another spot. Just mask right there, but too late, whatever. And then yeah, how he's like, don't lick the artwork, because that gets to be sometimes like very overthought and too much concern about like the light fastness and will the glitter fall off and you know, and sometimes it's valid. 100%. I'm not like invalidating people's concerns over, you know, something they've made and they're giving to someone. But sometimes it's like enjoy the process and just don't lick the artwork. You know, yeah, it should be fine. Everything should be fine. We all just need to take a bit of a chill pill. So we're doing moon rock for the last bits of detail, like getting right into these dark shades. I think that items stolen from other countries should be returned and possibly borrowed for a short period of time. 100%. That too. Well, that too. Pieces, historical pieces, not just artwork, but like literal, you know, columns and statues and all these things. Yeah, return them to their countries, you know. And there should just be programs, because those kind of already exist to a degree. It just isn't universal. But it's like everything should be sent back to their own countries of origin, full stop. And then proper programs fully set up so that they could um, exchange them and you know, do little exchange programs so that they could spend like this statue or this set of artwork, yada yada yada, could spend this many years in this country, and you know, so that again the people can enjoy it, and then things like universities and people taking art programs and other historians and artists can, you guys, I can go on and on, you know, so that they can all enjoy it and learn from it and experience it, because again, seeing something online or in a photo is nothing compared to seeing it in real life. So yes. Yep. Careful. There we go. Oh, I never in a million years would have done colors like this. Like, I love it. I love it so much. It's so pretty. I never would have. Who'd have thunk? You know? Okay. There we go. Okay, so mangrove root is that one. This is a strange conversation. I'm Greek. Half the Parthenon is in the British Museum. Yep. Yep. And it all needs to be returned. Like, so much of it. So much of it. You know? It's Yeah. 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 An artwork library card. Yeah. Yeah. You know, so many ways. Like, mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Like being able to experience those sorts of things in person is it's just such a different experience. And I haven't even had that much, you know. Cuz like I haven't had much chance to travel and go places and experience things. I've done a little bit here and there in my life. And those little bits, like seeing things in real life, you know, seeing um dinosaur bones in person, that sort of a thing. It's like it's such a crazy experience, like physically standing and then seeing, an entire T-Rex skeleton right in front of me, and it's like, holy wow. Your brain can't fully comprehend it. So, and everyone deserves those experiences, you know? So, yeah. Um, I'd love a whole exhibit just on pigments, how people figured out some of this stuff is beyond me. Oh, there's a video out there. Oh, who did it? There's videos out there of it's one of you might know what I'm talking. It's like a pigment library, and it is not open to the public at all. But there's videos on it and the people who run it and everything else, because some of the pigments are dangerous. Literally, some pigments are poisonous. I mean, deadly, but fascinating, absolutely fascinating. Like how they used to use like ground up mummies for pigments, you know, and yeah, like some of the things used in old paintings, etc. How like they're toxic pigments, scary stuff, scary stuff. So yeah, um, it's a fascinating video, and I've watched it more than once, and I think I've even shared it on my business Facebook page in the past too, because it's just fascinating. I love it. I love learning that kind of stuff. Because, yeah, give me all the color, give me all the history. Look at these flowers. I did this. I did this. Still not my idea. Altenew gets all the credit. Uh, they don't have the mediums. We do. They don't. And, like, over time, um, as science and art and all the things learn, like how to preserve things better, how to preserve artworks better, that kind of stuff fascinates me. I love watching like the restoration videos, of the professionals that strip off the old like sealants and stuff off old oil paintings, etc., and like the insane amount of time and effort that goes into it. That oh, love it. That's like my own personal ASMR. I love watching that stuff and hearing about like all the steps they went through to preserve and to fix and all of it, you know? I love it so much. So, yeah. Okay, I lost the lid. It's around here somewhere. I just don't want to. Well, it's not super sharp. Altenew's Perfect Picker is not like needle sharp. It's just pokey, but it's not, you're not going to stab yourself with it. So, there's our beautiful florals, and I am obsessed. Again, I never in a million years would have thought to use colors like this. You know? Like, I love it. I love it so much. Yeah. So that's the Fall Harvest Quad with red jasper. The Warm Gray Quad, which I now have all over the place. And I have links to all of it just for reference. And then the Nature's Wonders Quad. So that's that one. And then finally the Green Meadows. You know? Who'd have thunk? Never in a million years would I think to like, oh, these are the colors I should use. And yet they create beauty. I love it. So now we have to work on our background, which should surprise, like, oh, I found the lid. Ha! Love it. Y'all, I do need a vacation. I do. Okay. I need to move things out of the way because I gotta pull out some tools and stuff. But I think I should be done with that for now. And then I'm gonna need, let's do that. I want to go very light with my background because I'm gonna use, Are We Surprised? Are We Surprised? If you're surprised, you might be new here, but I can't not. I love it too much. The essential texture is fine wood grain press plate. Stephanie, yes. Can you buy the quads as individual colors? Yes. When you click on any of my links, when it takes you to the, like, if you click on the Nature's Wonders and it'll open up in the Altenew page, there's options. And so you can do the whole set of 4, or you can just choose. Because it's like, oh, I have, well, with this one, no one's going to have similar colors. But it's like, oh, I already have like this sort of a color or this sort of a color. So you only want one of them. Yeah, you totally can order like just one ink pad. You don't have to get whole sets. I'm the one that I need full sets. Full set syndrome is a major issue for me. Like, I can't help it. I can't help it. So, press plates, if you're not familiar with them. I do have an entire playlist that I've done many videos using press plates. When this live is over, when I go into like edit things, I will add a direct link to that playlist in the end screen at the very end of this video. And then I forgot to put it in the description box below, but I can do that like afterwards. But it is on my YouTube channel. And then this press plate I've used multiple times already because I love it. I love it so much. So, and you can use press plates without specifically the BETTERPRESS. Let me zoom out a little bit so we can see what I'm doing. But, and I think I've shown that using them with a like an embossing pad and running it through your die cut machine in the same way you would do a sandwich for embossing with a wafer die. You can do that with the press plates. It's just going to give you a different look, but it is possible. But I like using them with my BETTERPRESS because, and for things like this, I'm not even aiming for that like really deep press texture. That is the joy of press plates and the BETTERPRESS. But 99% of the time for me when I'm using them, I just want that image and impression. You know, I'll still get a little bit of texture, but it's not going to be super obvious, especially because I'm going to go very light with my ink. I'm going to do it on white cardstock, which here it is. Is this the cardstock? Yeah. So I have my clear plate. I'm going to flip it over. This piece is A2 size, and I want to cover the whole thing. So instead of using my tape, I just take a little bit of tape runner, and I just put just a few little dots, which you guys won't be able to see. Because Altenew's little tape runner, they're all a bunch of just little dots. So I've just got like a few little dots. You don't need much. It's just enough to hold it in place. And then I'll stick my cardstock to it. Like so. There we go. And then, there we go. It's part of the process. Yeah, 100%. 100%. And then, whoop, whoop. And then we're going to ink it up with Morning Frost ink. So like I said, this is going to be light, but that I just want that texture. I'm not going intense with this because it's just part of the background, you know. And with press plates, there is recommended ink, like through Spellbinders. Like there's literal BETTERPRESS ink, which is very thick, very deep ink that's like, it's very similar to our archival ink, and it's permanent. It's beautiful ink. I almost never use it. Most of the time I use Altenew's fresh dye inks with my BETTERPRESS. Pretty much any ink works. I've used, I think, all the inks I have had, and I've never had a bad result. The only thing you need to remember is if you're using an ink that has a foam ink pad, so like a metallic ink, a pigment ink, some of the other brands of dye inks that have the foam ink pad, you just have to be a lot more careful inking these up because foam will and then you'll have ink absolutely everywhere. So that's why I like Altenews, because these are felt. So you can apply a decent amount of pressure. And I just kind of tap and twist. And again, you're not really seeing it. I can see the ink on here, but because this is so light, you guys can't really see it. But it's there, We're going subtle. So we're just going to ink that up. And then put that lid on so I don't forget about it. And then this just clicks into place. And then I got to run it through, which I need to make space. And then we're going to run this through like so. I've looked at press plates and got the BETTERPRESS, but still haven't broken it out yet. Oh, break it out. Do it. Trust me. Of all the things, the BETTERPRESS, right out of the box. One of my first videos in my playlist, I unboxed it live and used it for the first time live. Didn't test it out. I was like, again, if I can do it, anyone can. Perfect results first time. It's so easy. Do it. I've never yet had a bad result with this. This will lighten up a little bit, but again, seriously, it's perfect. It's perfect. I love it. I love it so much. And then you just boop. There we go. And then to clean it up, because it's just fresh dye ink, I just use a baby wipe. I want it in the shimmer system, but first I need to upgrade the die cutting machine. I've been researching. If you are anyone wanting to get into the BETTERPRESS and Glimmer hot foil, because both those are made by Spellbinders, if a person is wanting those and needs to get a different die cut machine, I would recommend the Platinum or Platinum 6 by Spellbinders. They are compatible with other machines, and that is listed on Spellbinders' website. It says what these are all compatible with. But if I was having to get a machine, I would just keep it simple. I also can't, other people could probably attest to it. I've only used this with the Platinum and Platinum 6. The Platinum is just bigger. That machine is a beast. It's huge. The Platinum 6 is the one I just showed that I just used. That's your normal size die cut machine. And this and the Glimmer work in it. But I also can't say with personal experience other compatible machines because I don't have them. The only thing that sucks is this and the Glimmer do not work in the Empress die cut machine, the electric one. They're too big. They won't work at all. So that's the only drawback. But I already had a Platinum 6. I've had one for years and years and years. He's getting creaky and a little old, but I am okay with that. He works fine. So that was it. That's all I had to do. And now it's beautiful. You need electric. Yeah, you'd have to look into it, I think, but again, I can't confirm. I think the Big Shot electric ones, because is it the Sizzix Switch? I think that's what it's called. Yeah, you would just have to look at what Spellbinders has listed for their compatibility and then do some searching and see what other makers are doing, because I think one of those might actually work with it, but I don't know. But it might. If anyone in the chat has any is it the Sizzix Switch? Is that what it's called? I think that's what it's called. And a BETTERPRESS and Glimmer if it works. No idea. And yeah, this was just Neenah cardstock. Oh, focus camera, focus. Neenah, same. That's what I use for my peonies. This is just Neenah classic Crest Solar White, 110-pound cardstock. So with regular cardstock, you don't get the really deep, you know, letterpress impression with the press plates. You cannot see it on camera at all. In real life, there is though, like there is some texture, like it is pressing and you can kind of see it when you look closely. And it's just, I love it. I love it so much. I love it so much. Don't look at the artwork, but I kind of, I love it. It's so good. It's so good. Okay. We're at the home stretch because I just need to add a sentiment and stick this to the card. And of course we're going to add splatter. Of course we are. Oh, I love it so much. Okay. So on the inside, I just want to take I want to take that like that. Yep. I want to take that. And then I'm just going to take a pencil just so I don't get glue absolutely everywhere and my little pencil's like falling apart. I'm just going to draw a line like that. And then that way I know exactly where I can put my glue so I'm not making a huge mess. I also use the Gina K machine. I love it. Yeah, I know Gina's Intricate, that's what it's called, is compatible with the BETTERPRESS and the Glimmer. I don't have the Intricate. But that it's manual. It is a manual machine. It's not electric. So that is a concern. The thing that also, and again, I cannot speak from experience because I know a lot of people with the need for, and I don't know your reasons. I don't need to know them. I know a lot of people that want like electric machines is because of the issue of like cranking, you know, arm issues, hand issues. I get that. I understand it. And if that is an issue, and again, I can't speak from personal experience because I don't have it. Because Spellbinders does have, because that came out in the last like couple months. There's a handle attachment for the Platinum 6, and it's longer, and it's got like a wider, like a foam grip on it. And the idea of that is to make it obviously like easier to use. Because yes, manual machines can be, and it is supposed to be fabulous. I don't have it, so I cannot say like, oh yeah, it totally makes a difference. So I don't want to be like, this will 100% work for you. You know what I mean? But that is also something to look into if that is the reason. You know what I'm saying? Love it. And this guy, you know what? No, no, I can save him. I can use him on a different, like he can totally work on another card, you know, on his own. Yeah, I will probably when I'm done live, I'll just do a second background just like this. That's probably what I'll end up doing. And I'll use him on his own card. That will totally work. And this we're just going to keep simple with just that inside. So, love it. I do tons of die cutting. Dexterity. Yeah. So, it is something you could consider or like look into is that like with the specifically the Platinum 6 is that handle attachment because it does help with that, but I don't want to like, you know, say for sure because I don't have it. I've been wanting to get that handle to try it with mine and see what I think of it. I just haven't been. It sold out, and then I think they recalled the one for the Platinum machine, the one for the bigger machine, because I think there was like an issue with it or whatever. But yeah, so I don't have it, and I'm just curious. But I hear you on. I do a ton of die cutting, and I love my Anna Griffin Empress machine. And in a perfect world, it would be like universal. But it's not, sadly. Like, yeah. Yeah. Um yeah, the Empress machines do not work at all with the BetterPress or Glimmer. They just the opening isn't thick enough, so they don't work. Okay, so now we've got our beautiful, absolutely gorgeous peonies, and it's probably going to be something like that. I want to pop these up with foam tape because um that will give some extra dimension. Where are my scissors? There they are. I was like, not these scissors. I don't use these scissors on foam tape. Okay, I use these scissors on my foam tape. And then same thing. I'm gonna go like that. There we go. And then I'm doing the exact same thing. I just flip it over and I use my pencil just to give me my little margins so I don't put foam tape past that. So one, saves me a little time with the foam tape, plus I don't like cutting through foam tape because what a pain, you know? What a pain. So we're just gonna stick some foam tape on the back of this, keeping it within my little margins. And I can even do like little strips like that. Go right down the stem there. I don't get like super precious with the foam tape or, you know, covering like every square inch. It's more just hitting enough points so that it doesn't sag or, you know, anything like that. But again, don't overthink it. Just slap on some foam tape and we'll be good. Just that and that. And if you take the backing off, you can curve it to where you need it to be, like so. Honestly, and I like, obviously, I have more than one die cut machine. And I know a lot of crafters do. I don't, I'm not a pro, like, you can't be a true card maker unless you have like 5 machines, you know? But yeah, I literally, that Platinum 6 machine, I only use it for my BetterPress and my Glimmer hot foil. But yeah, you know, and no regrets. I got the Empress because I do so much die cutting and I'll never go back. I love it. So I use the Empress for all my die cutting, and then I use the Platinum 6 for all my BetterPress, my Glimmer hot foil, and then I have a few mini machines that I don't show on camera as much anymore, but I use, like, I have a couple mini machines that I'll use when I'm doing like repetitive little die cuts, like multiple little sentiments, or when I was doing like die cutting for all those swatches I did not too long ago. I did that video last month. I took my little mini machine and like sat in front of the TV because the unpaid intern and I were watching a show, and I just sat in front of the TV with him, and I was just like running my little mini die cut machine because I had to die cut like like a bajillion, you know, little swatch pieces. So yeah, things like that. Um, oh yeah, I love the Empress. It's love it, and I've tried other a couple other electric machines. Um, and yeah, okay, so card front. So now I'm just lining it up. This part can, even for me, I'm a little like because once it's like you got to commit. But I'm just gonna line it up with those pencil marks, and it doesn't have to be like perfect, just roughly. There we go. And then, yeah, I love my AmyR. It just, that thing cuts like butter. So, and the plates last a really long time. Because yeah, I had a different machine. It wasn't Big Shot. It was a different brand, and I did not like it at all. Do you know of any place in Canada that sells the AmyR? TSC, the shopping channel. I don't know of any actual crafty stores. Okay, now we're gonna add some splatter. Crafty stores that, like in Canada, that sell the AmyR. And yes, places, I have it linked. Simon Says Stamp does sell it. They do ship to Canada. There is an extra shipping charge because like the box is huge and that thing weighs, I'm not even sure how much. It weighs a lot. So there is an extra shipping charge, but they do ship to Canada. Yeah, fees. It is what it is. It is what it is. Yeah. Okay. I want to do, where's my little palette? I've already lost it. Okay, we're gonna add some splatter. FYI, the white gouache is, if you put glue on your tape, then you have a little bit of wiggle room. True, you do. And you can do that, especially if you are unsure of where you're placing something, or it is very imperative that you line it up, proper. Putting, like squiggling liquid glue, like you remove the backing paper, you squiggle liquid glue. I never do that except for unless I was, something was just, it needed to like line up, But yeah, with what I was doing, I'm not going to bother because the couple times I have used liquid glue, I forget that I did it. And then I end up like moving it before the glue has fully, dried. And then it's just like, but yes, if you are adhering something, like say it was a sentiment, and you had foam tape on the back of it and you want it straight and not janky and crooked, squiggle a little bit of liquid glue, just a bit, you don't need much, but it's just enough to, it's like, it creates almost like a little barrier, and then you can, shimmy it into place, before the glue and the foam tape fully fuse, and then you're committed. And then the white gouache, this is on sale, by the way, with Altenew. So if anyone's been splatter curious and wants to get into the gouache, when I was doing my links before we went live, I saw that and I was like, ooh, I almost need to order another one. I've used up like more than half the tube because the tube is enormous. It's huge, like absolutely huge. But I have used up like more than half of this. I like to splatter. We all know this. Is anyone surprised? You shouldn't be surprised. I like to splatter. So, put the white gouache on my palette. Add a bit of water to thin it out because it's gouache. It's very solid. So I thin it out with some water. I stir it up really, really well to incorporate it. Just like that. There we go. And then load up my brush. And then we just tap. And you won't really be able to see it on camera, but even on the background and stuff, like you can see the splatter. So I like to add a decent amount, There we go. It was not enough of an Amy lifetime. I know, right? When I first got it, I literally, because I didn't pay attention to that it said 50 mil when I ordered the white and the black gouache when Altenew first released that, 2 years ago, whenever it was, I don't even remember. And I'd added it to my cart, And I was just like, ooh, new splatter, whatever. Didn't think anything of it. And then I got my order and I pulled out, these just ginormous tubes. And I was like, what am I going to... I even did a reel. It's on my social media. But I was just like, when you're expecting like a 15 mil tube is standard. And I was like, oh, this is going to last me for lifetimes. I have like 3 lifetimes of splatter. I've already used up half the tube. Go big or go home. I'm glad. So the white I'll for sure be reordering sooner rather than later. The black I still have a decent amount because I don't use as much black, but I'm going to use a bit today. So the black is lovely. The thing to remember with this specific black gouache is, one, you need less than you think, and it is extremely pigmented. Like extremely pigmented. All this staining on my plastic palette is from this black gouache. So it is heavily, and that's why I love it, because some black product, some like craft paints, things like that, if you add water to it, it doesn't stay black. It'll start going like a little gray, a little weird, and it's just like, because when you want black spot, it needs to stay black, This stuff stays black to the point where it stains everything. So just keep it in mind. And it is gouache, so you clean it up with water. It's water reactive, so even if you let it dry, you can wipe it up with water, it's fine. But just always be aware, it will stain everything. So just be aware of it, respect it, and have fun with it. I love it. So I gotta stir it up. Like, it's almost like Vanta black. It's so black. I can't get over it. Okay, make sure it's there. And then I'm not as much, just a bit. And I know the black splatter freaks some people out, and that's okay. You don't have to do it, but if you're curious, it's fun. It just gives it a little extra something. Okay, that's good. That'll do, Amy. That'll do. Amy's kids are going to inherit the splatter medium. Maybe, but none of them better bank on it. Because in theory, I'll have used it all up, but I'm also always constantly like buying more different kinds. You guys see me. I use so many different products to splatter with. I don't stop. Something will come on the market and I'm like, add to cart. I especially love because how many of the brands are releasing literally and they're like labeling it splatter medium, and I'm like, oh, they were thinking of me when they came out with that. Thank you so much. Yep, and yeah, I get it. It's all over me. I don't care. So carefully lift that out so I don't get smears everywhere. There we go. And then, making sure. Okay. Let me zoom back in now that we're out of the... I noticed a lot more creators using splatter now that didn't used to. I love it. I love it so much. More so in just... I love it so much because it just adds extra bits of texture. A little bit of extra interest. And then I also love it. Today I did good. But sometimes I really muck up. I'll get a fingerprint or I smear something or, just something a little... And rather than like having to toss it and start over, it's like throw a little bit of splatter on, because that adds that texture and it distracts the eye. And then sometimes like say there was like a splotch or something like right there. It's like I'll take a little dotting tool and like dip it in my splatter and I've shown that in videos, and I will place it over, if the splatter didn't organically cover it, and it'd be like, boop, go on, Okay, now where'd my sentiment go? There it is. This was the, I got a delivery. This is part of the die set. I love when brands do this because this outline die is enormous. So they tucked in a sentiment in the coordinating wafer die set. I love it. I love when they, do things like that because it's like, ooh, it's like a little bonus. So I had run this through right before we went live, and I just die cut the word from black cardstock, and I did it a couple times so that we can stack it together because, dimension is life. And then, Lisa, welcome to the Splatter Chaos. Leah, that's I cannot imagine. Yeah. Yeah, maybe. They may have to bury me with it. I don't know. I really love it. I just, it was something that intrigued me in, which I maybe to some that sounds really, really weird, but I remember years and years ago, and I would see people's work, you know, whether it was artwork or a card or scrapbook page, like whatever, would pop up on my feed and it would have splatter on it. And I was like, oh, I really like that. But as a control freak, because I am very type A, control freak, all the things. And I was like, and I forget exactly like what I started with, but I started playing with it and I got hooked. And the more you do it, the more you get comfortable with it. But also always understand that you can never fully control it. Like it will always have a mind of its own. And it always has a tendency to go all over the place. But the more you do it and the more you just understand it, you know. Because I get a lot of questions about that. And they're like, all of mine are they're like, all of my splatters are really tiny. Like I can't get the bigger blobs. And that one, I was like, you just need more liquid on your brush. That's it. Because I was like, if you have a really thin amount and you're having to hit your brush really hard, it's going like this, and that's where you get the nice little tiny splatter. But when you want the big blobs, you just need more liquid, and then just a little tap, and it'll go. There's my technical explanation. You know. So yeah. Uh, and yeah, I adhered my sentiment to the outline. Usually I stack them, then adhere. It doesn't matter. We'll just add glue to this one too, and stick it on top, and it'll be fine. It'll be fine. I was distracted because you guys, we were talking splatter, and I love splatter, and I got a fuzzy on the end of my glue, but we're good. We're good. Everything's good. So let's just get where you belong. There we go. There we go. Just line him up. And then the little bits, if I get little glue blobs, that's where the pokey tool comes in. Extra handy because I just run it along wherever I have any little glue goobers, and pick them up, wipe it off, and we're good. We're good. Just like that. So we've got our sentiment. Fabulous. And we're going to stick him. I like it right there. Yeah, I like it right along the bottom. There we go. Yes, welcome to those that have joined me in the dark side of splatter. It's just fun, you know? And it's not for everyone. And the only reason I'm petty about it is because of someone that decided to turn it into a bunch of drama and BS. But those that don't want to or don't like the look of it, that's totally fine, you know? Because it would be boring if we all liked the exact same thing and the exact, And that said, though, it's always fun to experiment, whether it's splatter or a color combo you would never think of, you know. It's always fun to kind of get out of your own head, get out of your wheelhouse, and try something a little different, something new to you. So we got all that. And then last, but certainly not least, I want to add, I picked out some different types. I think I want to go with bling. And I think that's a little too dark. These ones will work. These are the Sicilian Amber Gem Sparkles. I linked all 3 of them because I wasn't sure when I was just digging through my stash, and I was like, any of these could work. And I always just like cut just the very top of the package off. There we go. Yeah. Yeah, these will work. And they're self-adhesive, which always makes me super happy. So we just got to peel and stick. So we're going to stick one. We can tuck them in right there. And then we can do a little guy. We'll stick him right there. And then we'll take this lighter shade because I'll use all 3 shades. Why not? And him we'll stick in right there. Love it. And then we'll do a big one in this shade. Tuck him in right like that. And then we can do a little one right there. And, you know, you could always stop here, but as usual, am I gonna? No, because I'm crazy. I'm gonna tuck one in over here. I can do what I want. And we'll take a little one. Just kind of have them peeking out like that. Carefully move him up because he's bugging me where he is. He just needs to be a little more offset. There we go. I like that. Normally I don't overthink this so much, but this is where my brain's at. There we go. Tuck you in just so he's peeking out. Just a smidge. There we go. There we go. And it's true, you can never have too much circle. It's hard to show these like on this camera too. My camera's not doing these justice. Yeah. It's always hard to really show. These are not as dark. There we go. Again, my face camera. There, that's more accurate. See, they're more of like a reddy. There we go. Reddy brown color. Like, aren't those pretty? You know? And again, this is this looking at this online, these are colors I normally would be like, but neutrals, man, you can't go wrong. So there's our finished card. So we've got all that blending and a very unconventional color combo. This will look a little different in my finished photos, as always, because the photos are not my forte, but the photos are somewhat more accurate-ish to the colors because my camera just likes to be a bum. But yeah, we've got the blending and splatter and a BETTERPRESS and then just very clean and simple little inside. Love it. Love it. And then, yeah, one last little reminder before I go of the code. All the info is in the description box directly below the video. Because if you use my link below and the code, you get free US shipping on orders over $49. And then that runs till the 22nd. So all the info is in the description box below the video. And yeah, thank you guys so much for hanging out with me on my 3rd live in 3 days. I don't know why I do this to myself, but they're fun. I like chatting with you guys. And then yeah, I will have normal videos coming, you know, edited down, not me yapping at y'all and telling you my thoughts on like the people deserve the art, all my rants. Normal videos coming this week, all sorts. So I'll have videos coming and we'll just see. I got 5 million things on my plate. And yeah, another huge thank you. I got to send Tesney a message. Huge thank you to Altenew for not only like joining me and giving me that code, but the flowers, those that tuned in a little later, they had birthday flowers delivered. So once I end this live, I'm going to go and like move things around so I can put them. I'm going to have a whole little setup of flowers behind me and I love it. So that really made my day. So thank you, Tesneem and Altenew, for the flowers and then the code and beautiful products and ideas. I love it. I love it. So I'll do the my photos and the social medias and my blog post and all that stuff. I'll be working on that. I'll get that up. I gotta clean up my mess as usual. And then yeah, just stay tuned. I'll have all kinds of videos. And for those that may have missed it, I was live yesterday. I was live on Saturday. Those are all on my channel. When this live is over, after it's processed, it takes a while, I'll add the playlist, my BETTERPRESS playlist, because so many ideas, so many press plates, so much good. So yeah, thank you all. This was fun. I loved chatting with all of you. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. And I will catch you all in the next video. Bye. Thank you so much to my amazing Patreon supporters. For anyone that might be interested in joining my Patreon community and supporting me, the link to my Patreon is in the description box below the video. For everyone else, as always, thank you all so much for taking the time to watch my videos, for thumbs upping, commenting, subscribe if you haven't, I'd love to have you. And here's a couple other videos for you to check out in case you missed them. Bye!